Coillte. And the issue I would primarily like to raise this afternoon is the question of the future of Coillte. It has been raised here, discussed by many colleagues across the House, and there is indeed consensus here in the Senate that Coillte should absolutely and categorically remain within public ownership. And as Senator Comiskey, my colleague, has pointed out, the government have now moved to appoint a new Minister for State in the Department of Agriculture, Minister Hayes. I wish him well in his work, but he now has responsibility and it falls within his remit. So I would ask the Leader perhaps to invite the new Minister for State at the Department of Agriculture to come before the Senate and to finally make a categorical statement. We have had some interesting mood music about this issue and a wink and a nod that the hills will remain free to roam, but I'd like to see it in writing before we could actually be sure that that's the case. The country is covered within 7% of the country's space is covered in forestry. It's an important resource, it's a strategic resource and a very important tourist and recreational and leisure amenity for people right across the country, and not least in Laois Offaly and the Midlands and so on. So it's something that I think we finally need the government to sort of bring to rest any uncertainty with regard to the future of Coillte, so as they can get on with strategic plans and development. And so that's a matter that I think that should be laid to rest before the summer recess. And Coillte, another question I would like the Leader to address, if it's at all possible, and I'm sure he will make every effort to do so, and it would be useful, I think, for the public and for members of the House here to know when the government proposes to actually have the Shannon referendum, because we have no date and we have no knowledge, and I do fear in what I thought was the sharp practice that the bill was launched last week at a time when the Houses were in recess, left a lot to be desired in terms of public discourse and an opportunity for members to engage in that process. Whoever came up with that idea knew that we weren't here. And in the same regard, Coillte, I think it would be preemptive and unfair if the Senate was, if you like, to be shot in the nest. Even pheasants know when the start of the shooting season is, and here we are. I'm fearful that I'm told by colleagues there's rumours circulating that the Shannon referendum could be as early as September the 11th. Immediately after the summer recess, and if that was the case, Coillte, it would stymie, in my opinion, fair and public discourse on a matter that's hugely important. And I think even a condemned man before the gallows is allowed and permitted a few last words, Coillte. And on that issue, I think the Shannon should be permitted to at least make a case for the future of the Shannon, and therefore I would fear that an early referendum date, which is unnecessary, and because the Shannon will run its course until the time of the next general election, and a standalone referendum in the autumn will cost the taxpayer 30 million. So I would, thanks for your forbearance, Coillte. I would ask the Leader of the House at the earliest juncture to inform the public and indeed the senators as to what is the date of the Shannon referendum. Thank you.